Hi, everyone. I'm Robin Dermer, Florida Plan Giving Director for Jewish National Fund. And you're probably all wondering, why is a donor advised fund a philanthropist's best kept secret? You're wondering, Michael? Okay, well, I will tell you. For those of you who are philanthropists and make charitable donations to many different organizations, a donor advised fund operates like a charitable savings account. It allows you to deposit either cash or appreciated stock and set up an account that you can then grant to any 501c3 you like. A donor advised fund with Jewish National Fund ensures that your values will last beyond your lifetime because you can open a fund and then share it with your family, your children, other successors, and you can, as a family, make decisions as to where those grants are going to go. Does anybody have a donor advised fund? You haven't, so you know how they operate. So the question you're probably thinking is, why Jewish National Fund as opposed to some of the other financial institutions? There are several reasons to park your donor advised fund with Jewish National Fund USA. One being you're supporting a Jewish philanthropy while making grants to other organizations. Number two, we don't charge the kinds of fees that other institutions charge. We pass on our cost to you. So our fees are generally less. The other advantage to using a donor advised fund, if you have a family foundation, as I know some of you do, is there's no requirement annually to grant out 5%. With a traditional family foundation, you're required to give 5% annually. With a donor advised fund, you're not. But the more important point is whoever you're granting to, whoever you're giving those funds to, it's anonymous. You're not filing a 990. So no one can look it up on the computer and see what organizations you're giving to. Another great reason to have a donor advised fund with JNF, with Jewish National Fund USA, is that most of the money that leaves Jewish National Fund in grants goes to a Jewish or Israeli organization. When you're giving to another organization, and some of you may have read the news lately, we don't know where people are granting money to. We vet every single grant to ensure that it's going to an organization that is aligned with our values. I'm a mom and a grandma, and my family has a donor advised fund. And one of the biggest benefits for us is that we're able to get together every Hanukkah. And I give each of my 3 children and my 2 daughter-in-laws and my grandson the opportunity to make a grant to an organization of their choice. So I'm sharing my values of philanthropy, and it also opens the lines of communication. Because my daughter-in-laws, let me tell you, they are opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of their lifestyle. One owns a upscale hair salon, the other's a hospice chaplain. And it's very difficult to find common denominator where we're all one family because they really are in different worlds. But what I learned the first time we did this as a family at Hanukkah is that both of them were very interested in food insecurity. And they both, one in New York and one in Miami, granted to organizations that had to do with food insecurity. Would I have preferred everyone in my family gave a grant to Jewish National Fund USA? Yes, but it has to start somewhere, because the reality is, in our families, we have a very diverse interests. Not every one of your children or grandchildren are going to be Israel supporters today. That doesn't mean we're not going to get there tomorrow, because we will, but it starts with teaching the value of philanthropy. So each donor advised fund starts at $10,000. If you have a fund with any of the other organizations, like TOPS, any other foundations, you can transfer it to Jewish National Fund USA. There's no taxes, there's no fees in that transfer. I like to say we offer a service, a concierge type service that no other organization offers. I call myself a philanthropic concierge, and it's because I'm able to answer the questions in a timely fashion. If you have other organizations, we help you do the research. We help you look at the whole spectrum of your philanthropic goals, 360 degrees, and we hope that you will consider talking to me after the presentation about a donor advised fund and how it can work for you and your family. And now to talk about bequests, I'd like to introduce my colleague, Judy Feig.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Judy Feig. I work in the New York office of Jewish National Fund. So I deal with the estates, and estates have helped us build our funds, our endowments, to where we now have $600 million in assets, which is phenomenal. I've worked here 30 years, and I've seen how JNF has grown from very little dollars to $600 million, which is phenomenal. And we just don't sit on the money. This money is used to fund the Galilee Culinary Institute, the new medical center in Kiryat Shmona. So a bequest is great. Let's say you don't have money now to give, but gee, you haven't done your will, or you're in the process of changing your will. You may consider adding a codicil or naming us as a beneficiary. We can tell you the legal name. All you need is our tax ID number, our legal name, our address. You can choose to designate the funds for a specific area. Basically, we say don't get too specific, but if you want to do it for community development, water, education, research and development. So there are 7 basic areas. The other thing is you may want to consider naming us as a beneficiary of something, like an IRA or a life insurance policy. That's an easy peasy thing. You should review your 403Bs, your IRAs. Who is the current beneficiary? If it comes to a charity, it's not taxed. If it goes to your kids, there's a big tax. But bequests, I can tell you, we've gotten $100 to millions of dollars, and we've gotten bequests from Holocaust survivors, teachers. You can't believe how rich teachers become, especially New York City school teachers. Once they start collecting their pensions, woo, it's been amazing. So you can leave us a sum, a specific dollar amount. I leave you $500. You can leave us your residuary estate, a percentage of your residuary estate, a specific asset. I leave my gold coins to Jewish National Fund. It's just wonderful, and it's an easy way to give. If you don't have the money now, you can give it upon your passing. So see me if you want to know the language or pick up our literature. And thank you very much for all you do for Jewish National Fund, and we appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of the conference.